Foreign ministers attending the G20 meeting in Delhi will not gather for a family photo over the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war and sharp differences emerging between the G7 members unwilling to share a frame with their Russian counterpart. Hello and welcome to VARINDIA News Hour. The G7 countries comprise the US, the UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy and Japan. Deep divisions between the United States-led Western countries and the Russia-China combined upended India's attempt to forge consensus at the G20 foreign ministers meeting. The foreign ministers meeting is one of the most significant G20 meetings. The G20 foreign ministers meeting is taking place days after a gathering of finance ministers and the central bank governors of the G20 member countries in Bengaluru failed to come out with a joint communique over sharp differences between the Western powers and Russia-China combined over the Ukraine conflict. Even last year, the G20 meeting for foreign ministers at Bali in Indonesia took place just 5 months after the start of Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. There had been a strict boycott by the Western countries, with Western delegations walking out when the Russian foreign minister was due to speak. There had been no family photo, a customary photo op of the principal participants at the high-level diplomatic meeting. We should not allow issues that we cannot resolve together to come in the way of those we can, said Prime Minister in a reference to the divide over the Ukraine war, adding that he hoped that their meeting in the land of Gandhi and the Buddha would inspire the G20 delegates to focus not on what divides us, but on what unites us. Sources said, while the foreign ministers meeting does not mandate a joint statement, the fact that Indian negotiators failed to convince their Russian and Chinese counterparts to sign on the language of last year's joint communique in Bali is a setback, and all it seems New Delhi will have to do some heavy diplomatic lifting in the next few months in order to have a joint communique at the G20 Leaders Summit in September. Agreeing with Mr. Jaishankar, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the lack of a joint communique at the foreign ministers meeting or going forward at the G20 Leaders Summit was not an issue if there was consensus between most countries. Let's look into today's headlines in VARINDIA. Qualcomm CEO hints at Apple using its own 5G modems in 2024. Qualcomm's Chief Executive Officer, Cristiano Amazon, has hinted that Apple may ditch Qualcomm's 5G modems in 2024 in favor of its in-house hardware. Earlier in 2021 also, Qualcomm had informed investors that it did not expect to provide 5G modems to Apple in 2023, but the iPhone maker decided to continue the partnership for another year. Rumors have been swirling since 2021 that Apple will use Intel's resources to transition into using its own hardware for 5G modems on iPhones. Google takes down over 7,500 YouTube channels linked to malicious operations. Google has taken down more than 7,500 YouTube channels in Q1 2023 as part of its investigation into coordinated influence operations and terminated 6,285 YouTube channels and 52 blogger blogs alone linked to China. Google's threat analysis group said it also terminated 40 YouTube channels sharing content in Persian, English, Hindi and Urdu that was supportive of the Iranian government and critical of protesters in Iran. LinkedIn founder Reid Hoffman steps down from OpenAI board. LinkedIn founder and Greylock partner Reid Hoffman is leaving the non-profit board of OpenAI. Hoffman cited a desire to invest in companies using OpenAI software, which could cause a conflict of interest. Hoffman said companies that use large language models could become incredibly valuable, while also saying that there are future trillion-dollar companies being built and invested in right now, which will not only change markets but launch new ones. Apple Cloud Chief Michael Abbott may leave company in April. Apple's Michael Abbott, who is in charge of cloud services, is leaving the company in April. Abbott, who joined Apple in 2018, heads the iCloud service and is in charge of the platform that powers features such as Emergency SOS and Find My Phone on iPhones, as well as new features including iCloud data encryption. Ericsson to pay $206 million for breaking US deal. Ericsson has agreed to plead guilty to US foreign corruption violations and pay more than $206 million for breaking a deal with the Justice Department over charges of bribery and falsifying records in countries from China to Kuwait. The US Justice Department said the company violated a 2019 agreement by failing to provide documents and information the agency needed for its investigation and to bring charges against individuals accused of misconduct. That's all for now. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to VAR India News Magazine. You can download the VAR India app from Google Play Store and Apple App Store for the latest news and updates. Stay tuned. Thank you.